Hi everybody, are you ready for our crochet along? Whoop whoop, it's the 2022 WHOOPA CAL. I am so exciting, bursting with food flavor over here. So this is my WHOOPA cardi, the one, actually my favorite one. I've used it so much, I made it over a year ago and it's just my favorite go-to cozy sweater at home, and I wear it outside as well. This one comes with the pockets, and I just use this little string here, leather string to tie it together. You can go with pockets or without. You can do with buttonholes and buttons. I'll show you both versions. This here size is the large short one, and it's lousy blocked. And then you have, it comes in 4 sizes. It's all in the pattern. The links are below. And this is the size that I'm going to show you. You can also make a longer version, and then you can make the medium, which is a bit smaller. What I was going to say, yeah. So today we start. This is the 10-day cardigan. So it's a really quick and fun project. That's why it's called WHOOPA, because it's just over very quickly. And so I have now filmed here the first 5 parts, and I want to show you what it looks like. So the nice thing about this wearable is that it's all just weight in one piece, so it's very easy. So what we're going to do today, for example, if I can untangle this here, is we start with the sleeve, first sleeve here. That's part 1, and then part 2 comes, and that's the front and back here, front and back, and then we do the back side, back. And that's part 3. Part 4 is, again, front and back. And part 5 is the other sleeve, okay? And then we have 5 parts more after that. But as you can see, you make it all in one. And then you just ensemble it, okay? So it's a really, really easy garment. And if you haven't made the wearable before, this is really a good place to start. Because on top of it being really easy and quick, I'm showing you everything, how to do everything. And another beautiful part about this is that I'm using really thick yarn, chunky yarn. This is the recommended yarn, the Thorvaldar, which is 100% Icelandic wool. You can use any kind of bulky yarn you like, really. And with this big bulky yarn, and the hooks that we're using are 6 and 7 millimeters. So it just works up so quickly. What was I going to say more? So today we do the first part, which is the sleeve. And I just wanted to show you the other size here. I'm doing the shorter sleeve on this one. And you have to take care of the sleeves are actually on purpose quite short, because once you start wearing it, they will get a bit longer. So mine have gotten more longer in time. But I just wanted to show you the other one. This one I made for my husband. And this one has the longer sleeves. And this one was not lousy blocked and he hasn't even started using it. And as you can see, those are a bit too long for me. And I'm like 165, 66. So this is the longer sleeve version. If you want that, you can make that. I also show you in the pattern and in the videos how to make it wider if you want to make a bigger size. And then, of course, if you want to make it smaller, you can go down in hook size. All of that is in the pattern, down hook size and thinner yarn, of course. I've even made one for my son, which is 12, and it really is just great. One more to show you just before we go off. I made this one here. I just love it. This is very fancy yarn. This one here, Danish wool. This is the same size as the gray one, but it's a bit thinner, this yarn, so it's a bit more snug. And here there are no pockets, and with the buttons. So lots of versions to go. I hope and think that once you've made one, you will probably make more. I've made like 5 or 6 already. And yeah, I'm so excited to see how you will be doing and all your WHOOPA cardies in the making. Like I said, it's 1 video per day. The pattern is all available now on the website and on Ravelry. The complete pattern with all the yarn starts of different types of yarn. And we'll be doing daily videos. Today we start with the sleeve for part 1. Let's go! Whoop whoop! Okay, it's time to start the WHOOPA CAL. It's part 1, the first sleeve. Yay! So I'm using the recommended Thorvaldar, which is pure Icelandic wool. It's 100 gram balls, 100 meters per 100 grams. So it's bulky yarn, and we will be using a 7 millimeter hook for all the body of the sweater. Then we will use the 6 millimeter for the ribbing later on. So you'll just need your yarn and your hook, and I hope that you already made the gauge swatch that I showed you. And it's good to have a measuring tape available as well, just to show you. I will show you all the measurements and how big the sleeve is going to be, just to show you what we're going to be making today. We're going to be making the sleeve. It's very easy. It's all flat like this, you see. And it's just with a little bit of increase here. And I'll go through it with you every step of the way. So let's get to it. Where's my little ticket? WHOOPA CAL, part 1. Woohoo! Okay, off we go. So we're going to start with the sleeve, like I said, and I am going to be doing the large short version. So we start by chaining up 35 stitches. And as always, when we're chaining up here, like I told you in the intro video showing you how to do the gauge, we want to chain up rather loosely because we have a loose gauge here. Okay, so we want to chain up, no, I'm sorry, I said 35. We're going to chain up 39 stitches. Okay, for the large. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. As you can see, I'm taking care to give them a little extra. 11. These aren't very even, are they? Okay. 9. 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. Okay, that should be 39 stitches. Let us count. Remember that the one that is up on your hook does not count. 2, 4, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 18, 20 og 2, 4, 6, 8, 30, 2, 4, 6, 8 og 9. 39. Okay, so we chain up our 39, and the sleeve actually starts with 38 stitches, so we always do the one extra when we're chaining up for half double crochet. And now we're going to start by working our first half double crochet into the third stitch from the hook, third chain. Okay, so we do not count the one that is up here, and we do 1, 2, and 3, and we yarn over and go into the third one. Okay, and now we just work 1 half double crochet into each and every stitch. Please do remember that I already did this very slowly, showing you how to do the half double crochets, if you don't know how to do that, in the gauge swatch intro video. So if you have not watched that, you have been a very bad girl or boy. And must go back. I will not slow down for anybody. No, I'm kidding. We'll do this nice and easy and slow, but I did show you how to work those in the swatch video. So row 1 is just 1 half double crochet into each and every stitch here. Nice and easy. And this is so much fun to work because right away, like just on your first row with this big hook and bulky yarn, you can see it will go very quickly. Like we have something proper in our hands just after the first row even. So that's nice. Almost there. So the first 2 chains counted as 1 half double crochet, and then we did 36. 37, sorry. 37. This is the 37th. And it's always just good to count at this point. And so when you count, you start here and you count the first 2 chains here as the first stitch. 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 32, 4, 6, 8, 38. So that is row 1 of the sleeve, 38 half double crochets, or the 2 chains here and the 37, so 38 stitches. Okay, so that's all done then. Okay, on we go to row 2. And so in row 2, we always start by doing 2 chains. I usually do this before I turn. It's not really maybe important, but it's just the way I like to do it. And in row 2 and all even number rows, then you're working from the wrong side of the fabric. And we are going to be working into this 3rd loop, like I explained in the swatch video. And again, now we do our little trick here at the beginning of the row. We're just going to do 2 chains and 37 half double crochets, right? But I'm going to do my little trick here at the beginning, like I showed you, just to not get the little hole here. So I yarn over, go into the 3rd loop here, pull my yarn up, have 3 on my hook, go into the next one, pull the yarn up again, so I have 4, and go through all 4. Okay, and then it's just 1 half double crochet into each and every 3rd loop here. Always the 3rd loop, remember? Again, I show this in great detail in the swatch video, so as to not slow us down here, because we are on it. We are doing the 10-day cardigan, and there is no time to lose. No. Okay, I'm not trying to stress you out. You can go on your own speed, obviously. But now we're just working 1 half double crochet always into the 3rd loop here. And again, if in doubt, you can always turn your work around and see here. Here's the front loop, the back loop, and the 3rd loop is here. Once you get the hang of this technique, that will be easy breezy. And I love the drape and texture that this stitch gives. It really is perfect for garments, for wearables. And we just whiz here on. Up. And so once we're getting to the end here, just take care to work into the last stitch here. You see, when in doubt, check the other side. If it has 3 loops, it's a half double crochet. So here is our last half double crochet, and we work into that one, and then we work the last half double crochet of the row into the 2nd loop here that we did, the ones that we skipped at the beginning of row 1, right? Okay, and that is row 2 all done. And so we're here at the back side, and when we whoop flip it over, then you can see that the beautiful texture is coming along on the right side. Okay, but that's row 2 all done. So we have a total of 38 stitches here, the 2 chains, and 37 half double crochets. On we go to row 3, and that is just a simple row as well, but what we are doing now is just learning the pattern and the stitch, right? And so again, we start with 2 chains here in the beginning, and whoop, turn over. I always turn at the end of each row, working back and forth. And now you're working from the right side, and then we are always going to be working into the back loop. So from the back side, we're working into the 3rd loop. From the front side, all odd number rows are worked into the back loop. Okay, so this is the 3rd loop here in the front, and there's the front loop and the back loop here. Okay, and again, we do a little trick at the beginning of the row so that we don't get the little hole. So we're going to do 2 half double crochets here together into those 2 stitches so that we're not increasing, but we don't get a hole. So we go into the back loop of the 1st stitch here, the one that we're not supposed to really go into, like I explained to you. Pull up, we have 3 on our hook, go into the next one, back loop also, pull up, and then we yarn over and go through all 4. Okay, and this row is also just going with 1 half double crochet into each and every stitch. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So it is nicer to go into the back loop obviously than into this 3rd stitch, but once you get the hang of it, once you've done a few rows, then it's easy enough. But to start first, you know, in the start, then I know that it's easier to go into these here, the back loops. You are probably more familiar with that. So just 1 half double crochet into each stitch, and always when working the odd number rows or from the front of the fabric, then we're working into the back loop. The even number rows from the back of the fabric, then we're working into the special 3rd loop. Okay, as you can see, this goes very quickly. You already will have quite a bit of fabric in your hands. Just after 3 rows, which is very encouraging. Okay, here's the last one. And then the last half double crochet goes into the 2nd chain here that we did at the beginning of last row, like so. That's row 3 all done, and now you can see how the texture is coming along. It's quite pretty. It's like braided sort of, and it gives really good like drapey feel, like it's really stretchy, and it's just really lovely to use for fabrics, because often crochet will be a bit stiff, but this stitch is just lovely. Whoop whoop, it's like bouncy jumping. Okay, so what we've done now with rows 1 and 2 is just to show you the basic rows, and after this it's mostly just repeat, except for the increase. What I do want to tell you at this point is, because like I said in the pattern and in the intro as well, I suppose, I want everybody to be able to make their cardi any size they want. So at this point, and instead of just making like a horrible amount of sizes with all the numbers and it just looks like algebra or something, I'm just going to show you there are like 3 points in the cardigan where you can very easily make it wider, and I will just show you how. So this is at 1 point. So now this is the tip of the sleeve, right? And when I fold it together, then you see what it is in diameter. Now the sleeve is relatively straight. Actually, there's only a total of 6 stitch increase in the sleeve, and So at this point, just take care. If you're doing it for yourself, then take this bit here now, after finishing 3 rows, try it around your upper arm and see if it fits. I'm going to do it for me and see if it's, and it can't be like, just an exact fit for your upper arm, and then you'll be good, because we're going to do a bit of an increase. But 6 stitches will be like, what, 5 centimeters, 2 inches more. It will go out a bit, like, yeah, 6 centimeters. So, but at this point, you want to try it around your upper arm, see if it makes a snug fit there, then you're good. If it does not, then you will want to maybe add a few, and it's no problem. It's all just, you just will have a bit more stitches. You can add to your chain up 4 stitches more, or 8 or 12, whatever you like, to get the sleeve to be wider. The only difference, and then you just follow the pattern as is, the only difference is that you will have a bit different stitch count, which is not very complicated, is it? So at this point, do check that. If it fits you, then we just continue, because now rows 4 to 9 are just a repeat of rows 2 and 3. So it's always just 2 chains, and then you work your 37 half double crochets, always from the front, then you're working into the back loop, and from the back then you're working into the 3rd loop here that is closest to you. Okay, so you go ahead and do rows 4 to 9, exactly the same as 2 and 3. Just repeat those, and I'll catch you on the flip side once I've done mine, and we do row 10 together where we do the increase. Okay, let's go. Okay, so I have done rows 4 to 9, and it's really easy to count the rows on this. You just count the little braids, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, and now we are up to row 10, which is the increase. Okay, and we are working from the back side, so we will be working into the 3rd loop here, and it's really easy. It's just, we're going to increase 1 stitch at the beginning of the row and 1 stitch at the end of the row, but I will just do it with you to show you, because that's what we're doing. We're crocheting along together. So we start row 10 with 2 chains as always, and now instead of doing our little trick in the beginning of taking 2 stitches here together, we're just going to work this extra increase stitch that we want to increase into this 1st stitch here. Remember, the 2 chains stand for the 1st half double crochet, and so we never work into the 1st stitch here, because then we would be increasing, but now we do want to increase, so we just work our extra stitch here in the 1st stitch here that we usually do 2 together. Okay, so yarn over, go into the 3rd loop and do 1 extra stitch here, and then just 1 stitch into each and every 1 half double crochet into each and every stitch of the row until we get to the end of the row, and then we add 1 there as well. Easy peasy. I hope you're getting the hang of how to work into these 3rd stitches here. After the sleeve, you will have mastered it, I am sure. Okay, now I'm almost at the other end, and here we have the 2 chains, and then I have 2 stitches more, and I'm just going to work into this stitch normally, and then I'm going to do 2 double crochets into the last stitch of the round, the last normal one. So 1 and 2, and then the last stitch of the round goes into the second chain here as always. Okay, so before we had a total of 34 stitches, and now after the increase we have a total of we had a total of 38 before in the large size, and now we have increased to 40. Okay, if you're doing the medium, then you used to have 34 and now have 36. So we've just added 2 stitches. It's good to, count your stitches every once in a while, just to be sure that you haven't lost the stitch or have too many stitches. If you have, it's no problem just to do this increase like we did here and pick up 1 stitch at the end of the row, or skip 1 stitch like we're doing, like with the 2 half double crochets together. It's a forgiving, fabric. If it's just 1 or 2 stitches, then you can always just fix it. But now we have done the increase in row 9, and we have here 40 stitches. And next up are rows 11 to 14. Okay, and they're just as before, like we did row 2 and 3, always just 1 half double crochet into each stitch. Okay, so next 4 rows, just normal straight ahead, and I'm going to do the same, and then we do another increase. Okay, Okay, so I did the 4 more rows. We have now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And then we do an increase again in row 15. And it's exactly the same as we did before. We're just going to increase 1 at the beginning of the row and at the end of the row. Okay, so we do 2 chains and we do the increase the same way. Instead of doing our 2 half double crochets together, we're just going to work a half double crochet here in the very first stitch, and that is our increase. And then it's the same, just 1 stitch, 1 half double crochet into each stitch of the row until we get to the end of the row, and there we add another stitch. And now, again, obviously we are working from the front side of the fabric, looking at the front side, so we work into the 3rd chain. Into the back loop, sorry. Into the back loop. But you know this already. I couldn't even confuse you if I tried to, right? It does have a lovely rhythm to it, this stitch, and it is fun to hook with such a big needle, this big hook and the thick bulky yarn, and you really feel how it's happening all very quickly. And we already have, you feel accomplished when you see all that you've done so quickly, right? Although again, this is not a race, you don't have to do it in 10 days. You can just do it any speed you want, no problem. Okay, so before we had 40 stitches, and now we added 1 at the beginning, and now I have here the last half double crochet before the 2 chains. I'm going to do 2 double crochets into that one, 1 and 2, and the last half double crochet of the row goes into the chain 2 here, and voila, now we have increased 2 more, and we have a total of 42 stitches. For the large, for the medium, it's 38. Okay, so now we do another, what, 4 rows? Yeah, 16, 17, 18, 19. Just straight. So rows 16 to 19 are straight. And so we just work 1/2 double crochet into every stitch like before, just straight up next 4 rows, and then we do another increase. Okay, easy peasy, right? Okay, so I did rows 16 to 19, just straight up, 42 stitches each row, and now we're going to do the third and final increase in row 20, and now we increase 2 more stitches, so we will have a total of 44 stitches after this increase. Again, we do it the same way. Just want to keep the rhythm here, so I do it with you. I already did my 2 chains. We're working from the back side, so we're working into the 3rd loop, and we do our extra stitch here in the stitch we normally do the 2 together, but now we want to do the increase, so we just do that here, 1 extra there, and then all the way over to the other side. As before, always 1 stitch increase at the beginning of the row, 1 stitch increase at the end of the row, and everything else is just as before, 1/2 double crochet into each stitch, and we are close to finishing our sleeve now. So like I said, the sleeves are rather straight. It's not a big increase at all, just a total of 6 stitches increase. The thing is though, since we have what, 11 stitches are 10 centimeters, then it's maybe like 4 centimeters increase. And the thing also with this sleeve is that since it's a big slouchy sweater, the sleeves don't go all the way up to your armpit either. They are a bit lower. Do, 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 do. Okay, almost at the other end. Getting there, and as before, we do the increase at the end of the row. We do 2 half double crochets into the last half double crochet stitch here at the end of the row, and not into the chain. So in this last half double crochet here, we do 1 and 2 stitches, and then we do a last stitch of the row into the 2nd chain here we did at the beginning of last row, like so. And now we have done the 2 stitch increase, and like I said, that's it for the increases. We now have a total of 44 stitches. For the large, for the medium, it's 40. And now we just do, where's my, now we just do 4 more rows, straight up. So rows 21 to 24 are straight. Just 1 stitch into every stitch, and you are supposed to have 44 stitches total here. Okay, so 4 more rows and we're done with the sleeve. Yeah, it's going fast, right? Okay, and we're all done. I just finished row 24. And we're done with the sleeve. If you want to do the longer sleeves, Then you add 4 more rows, total of 28 for the long sleeves. I do the short sleeves for myself. I am 166, and I do the long sleeves for my husband, for example, it was 190. So just for reference now, before we finish, I'm just going to show you how long my sleeves are. My very old. They are 34 centimeters long, and at the top they are 41 centimeters, and at the bottom 34.5. So it's it's like 6 centimeters more here. 35 at the bottom, 40 at the top, and we're all done then. Well done. First part all done. Whoop whoop.